A twin bell tolls its dying call. An ancient land of dying light. An icon that can banish night. An open grave, a bloody sire. And from the earth comes the mire. Welcome, friends, to another episode of Curse of Strahd, here on the High Rollers D&D channel. I'm your Dungeon Master, Mark Sherlock Humes, and joining me, my peculiar pawns, my pathetic peasants, my petrified peons, my players. Here we are.
Calling a peasant.
We have Rhiannon and Tom as the Mire. We have Katie as Rose Venandi, Trot as Jesper, and Kim as Dog's Body. Welcome, dear friends. Welcome, welcome, welcome. How are we all?
Oh, you know.
Just
Tip-top.
dandy.
Tip-top. Great.
Ship shape.
You know.
Really awake. So awake.
I'm incredible. Thank you for asking.
Yeah, you just haven't. You're doing all right, Tom. That's the main thing?
I'm doing better than I've ever done. Ever.
That's
I'm happy
great
to hear it, my
hear.
boy. That's
That's
great.
not
That's
true,
just
though.
wonderful.
Fantastic
Anybody else can top
right now.
Tom? Anybody else feeling better than Tom
It's
does?
impossible.
He's clearly on
It's
top.
impossible.
He's going to
He's
lead.
on top.
He's
Top of the
leading the
world
whole
right
show.
now.
I mean,
Probably not.
Watch
Probably
out.
not.
No.
Trot proposed to Tom before the stream, so I feel like
Yeah, I
Trot
think
might be
that's
feeling pretty good
what's-
as well.
Ooh.
He just clapped along.
Oh,
He never
wait.
said yes, though. That's the problem. So
No. I
Well,
didn't.
you know, he's savouring it.
left me hanging.
Yeah. Got to play hard to get.
Well, not when
Can't
it
just
comes
say
to
yes the
proposals.
first time he asks.
I'll
Not
say
when
yes.
it comes to proposals.
No.
No.
Need
you have
an
to
answer
wait.
on that one. All right.
No, you have to
All right.
wait.
I'll keep trying. Keep trying. You
Keep
try.
trying.
Let's
Yeah,
go.
you've got to impress him.
You
I
can't
mean,
get
you
me.
know,
I can. And I
well, he
will.
could. He will. Yeah. He will be mine. Oh, yes.
Oh, yes.
He will be mine.
Oh yes.
Right. Well, we have an exciting game of D&D, playing through Curse of Strahd. We missed out last week. Folks are feeling better. We're back this week, and we are playing through the Curse of Strahd module with some alterations and changes. If you're joining us for the first time, our Curse of Strahd may be a little bit different. Some big changes have already happened. It might be exactly like the module. It depends. We'll find out. And yeah, we're going to be playing through that today. We'll have a little bit of a recap. And we'll just get into it, I guess, right? Unless there's anything I need to mention. A couple of things I am going to mention. One, which is on Sunday, we're going to be playing. It's going to be we normally play our normal campaign Erois. This Sunday, to celebrate Lunar New Year, we're going to be playing a very special one shot DM'd by Kim, who's been working very, very hard on it. Very excited to play in it. You got cool artwork for it. It's all very, very exciting. So, Kim, do you want to say anything about that real quick?
It's gonna be lit, fam.
Cool.
Right.
And then a
Cut
dab.
away. Cut away.
God.
Yep,
I
wow.
regret that. I regret that
I've
to my
never
core.
seen
Oh my god, that hurt me.
Anything more
That
awkward
hurt me.
than someone our age doing that.
I'm
gonna
so
be clear.
sorry. I'm
That's,
so
uh,
sorry.
Can I amend how I'm feeling today, real quick?
Yeah,
Suddenly,
yeah, I
just
think
the
you should.
worst ever.
Just the worst. That wasn't
Kind of
Poggers.
nauseous.
So am I.
Not,
That wasn't
not
very
Pogchamp
Poggers.
Oh, I
at
feel
all.
a bit sick.
That was not Poggers.
Not Poggers.
Am I
But
going to be
Coggers.
playing? I will be playing. That was Coggers, yeah.
Yeah.
I will be playing in the one shot, which is going to be fun. I think so far. Actually, no, Katie, you've played in one game when I did a one shot as a player, and I think Trot's played
Yeah.
with me as a player before. But the
But
others.
it was very brief, and you
Oh.
played a very, very
Oh, yeah.
different kind of character to what
I played a
you
lizard
played
man
this
who
week.
wanted to eat all the time. Oh yeah, very, very
was-
different.
yeah.
Very, very different.
Very different.
So exciting stuff. So that's on Sunday, Lunar New Year, big celebration. Lunar New Year starts tomorrow. Yes, Kim, and then you're going to be doing a
Yeah,
stream
so
on
this
Saturday
is,
for it.
Yeah, so this is Lunar New Year Eve now. Normally, I would be having a reunion dinner with my friends and family and loved ones, but can't because of the COVIDs. So what better way to
So you
spend
have to
my,
just-
my New Year's
So you're
Eve
stuck
with
with
some
us.
horror than
Woo!
you guys?
Yeah, playing
Nice.
some rolling dice.
Same thing. We're
nice.
just not eating, isn't it? We're just not
Yeah,
eating, isn't it? Yeah. But I am
you can get some
also I'm doing a special party stream on Saturday just to be self-indulgent for a second.
Yeah,
I am
of
having a
course.
big celebration on Saturday, 2 p.m. on my channel. We got a lot of people coming in for the party. So come and join us. Wear red. Wear
What
gold,
channel
wear
is that
gold,
again?
And come and like
What channel, Kim?
twitch.tv/NanoKim.
I couldn't hear you.
NanoKim.
One more time, please.
Twitch.tv
How do you spell that, Kim?
NanoKim. Dab.
Wow, dab.
No!
Amazing.
Please start the
Amazing.
game. I can't.
Well, a couple of quick things. I'm going to say, I wanted to just say a big thank you to everybody who stopped by my birthday stream yesterday and sent me some very, very lovely messages on Twitter. It was actually a genuinely super lovely evening. And thank you very much.
Happy birthday.
Seriously,
I thought
there was
it
quite a few
Kim's
regular High Rollers
birthday.
peoples who came into like stream and were really fucking
Huh?
nice. So thank you very, very much. What?
It's not Kim's birthday?
It's not
My
Kim's
God.
No, it was
birthday.
yours, Katie.
It's not your birthday.
Yes, it was
Oh
yours.
shit!
Is it
you're
Ree's
right.
birthday? I think
was.
it's Ree's birthday.
Oh, I don't know.
It's
It's confusing times.
That's nice.
Ree's 80th birthday. But no, I just wanted to say,
Someone's birthday somewhere in the world.
Finally.
and yeah, and that's it. I just want to say a big thank you for that as well. So let us play some Curse of Strahd, and I will give you a recap on what happened last time. I'm going to open my drink now, so I don't ruin the game later. Last time on Curse of Strahd, with the loss of Xeros and Ziki, the haggard and desperate heroes flee into the woods, hoping to evade the attention of Strahd's minions. Rose attempts to lead them back to the Wizard of Wines, but something is angry, and the mists of Barovia conspire against her, leading her astray as the sound of large, leathery wings above the canopy begin to search for them. When all seems lost, the very earth and trees seem to stir and hide them from notice as a trail of glowing insects and cleared earth lead them into a swamp where they see dozens of half-buried corpses of adventurers just like themselves. From this pile of bodies, a tiefling rises up and appears to split in two, a rampant fungus-like growth creating body parts for it to become two creatures that introduce themselves as the Maya. Jesper, rightly afeared of the creatures and its ominous and vague messages, draws the Sunsword and attacks. One of the Mayas sends spores into the air that cause Rose to nearly kill Ismark, and tensions rise dramatically. The Maya shows no sign of hostility, and eventually, the groups do reach an understanding, Maya making it clear that it is an enemy of Strahd. With no other options, the heroes trust in the Maya to help them return to the Wizard of Wines and return the stolen gemstones. With the gemstones returned and explaining the story of what happened to Xeros and Ziki, the Were-Ravens thank them and welcome them to stay once more in their home over the evening. With the Maya now accompanying the party, they must decide on how they want to proceed in securing the next relic from Baba Lysaga, a witch that lives nearby. And that is where we begin today's episode. Wonderful, eh? And I believe that it was already morning. You guys had a long rest already. And you had met out in the orchards where the Maya had pulled itself free, kind of creating this kind of leftover growth of mushrooms and red vines and fungus that had almost encased them. And then they've broken free, leaving chunks of it behind that begin to rot and decompose, enriching the soil beneath them. And that is, where we
Kind of
kick
cute,
off today's
though.
episode.
Kind of cute.
Kind of cute, though.
There is a point. There's a point in that recap of the Maya made it clear that they were not an enemy. No, they fucking didn't. No, they fucking didn't make it
Eventually,
clear.
I said eventually they did.
Eventually.
Eventually,
bit.
they made
It
it
took
clear.
a bit.
It did, took a bit. But we are there now. We're friends now.
Best buds now.
Yeah, best buds. Symbiotic relationship.
Didn't
And yeah,
didn't one of the
you
Maya
guys go on.
choose to like put their hands and then feet in the ground, and that's how you sleep?
Oh yeah, enriched by the soil, one
Yeah.
with the earth.
How
Friends
can we
with
be
Well,
nature.
they've not
friends with
eaten
these things?
The Maya hasn't eaten food.
That's
The
very
Maya has
wholesome.
kind of planted itself and fed off
So-
the energy of the earth, basically. Same way that they can take nourishment from the sun sword, or sunlight in general.
Oh, they're
Kind
gonna
of cute,
be
though.
skulking around my sword all the time.
So, I
And
believe that you
so-
guys had it had been over the evening, just as dawn was peaking, that you met the Maya. You made your
Mhm.
way back to the Wizard's Wines within about an hour, and then you took a long rest. So we're looking at probably, this is morning, mid to late morning, at this point. So Barovia, as always, there is no sunlight in Barovia, but there is this kind of pale grey light that signifies daytime. The clouds overhead are thick and heavy. There is a light drizzling rain that seems to just perpetually fall, and the soft mud earth of the winery kind of surrounds you. You have places to go and things to explore. You still have a lot of choices. Obviously, Jasper, you know that one of these relics, having performed a Taroka reading with the spirit of Madame Ava in the 9 hells, with her spirit guiding you, you had performed a Taroka reading, and that Taroka reading had pointed you to a witch's hut, and buried kind of beneath it, in this kind of pile of stuff inside her abode, there was this gleaming light. That is the only real clue you have. The were-ravens have said that they can take you to where Baba Lysaga, who is this witch, makes her lair, but so far you have yet to head out.
Okay. So I think Jesper will just gather himself up and wait for the other two living, breathing people that are
Barely.
completely normal in Jesper's book, and then keep a good safe distance from the mire until those two.
You awakened so
perfectly
early,
fine.
Jesper.
Oh, hello. Just waiting for the other party members.
You take in all the sunlight, don't you?
He looks at the drab sky. What I can get, I suppose. Now, I have a question for you.
Which one?
You both, I assume, you share. I mean, you're one half of the other. Are you not symbiotic? Would you have your own personality? I don't understand anything at all. I'd like to indulge in what you are a bit.
To help you
Ah.
understand us, we can introduce ourselves separately. I am the Maya, and this one,
I am the Maya.
the Maya.
The Maya.
Right.
You may call us the Maya.
We will... The Meyer. Good to meet you both. I have a question. I do
Which
Taroka
one, the
readings.
Maya or the Maya?
I am addressing you both. This is a group session. Right. I'm going to each give you both the same amount of eye contact throughout. Baba Lysaga, does this mean anything to you?
For both Mayas, your benefit, you would be aware of Baba Lysaga, yes. Baba Lysaga is old. Very, very old. As old as the Maya, perhaps nearly as old as the land here. She's always been connected to Strahd, even though Strahd has... I mean, the Maya would know that this is not... Strahd has lived many, many times. He's been killed and reborn, killed and reborn. And Baba Lysaga has always been there. You know that she is powerful, that she has magic. She keeps herself to herself, normally. But of late has been helping these savage druids and barbarians attack the Wizard of Wines. She has been using more of her magic recently. But outside of that, you don't know, like, as a consciousness, you are more aware of what the land would know. You know roughly where she is. You know, she lives in this ruined, swampy village called Berez, and she's powerful. That's all you really know.
Well, Maya?
Her flesh is as old as we are.
Dude.
What?
You made this, Tom. Sit
Yeah,
on it.
that's my fault. I made my gross, disgusting bed. She should have been with us long ago, yet she evades our grasp.
She is of the swamp. That's where she resides, no? Seems similar to you. Some connection? An ally? Once an ally, now an enemy?
Lysaga has always been her own power. She can draw magic from the land, but she is not betrothed to it. She is not a servant of it. She is her own being.
She is as enriched by the soil as we, but we are the Maya and she is Baba Lysaga. We are not the same.
So she is dead and risen. She is the land, is like you, but different. Is there anything we should
Yes.
fear or prepare for?
She is very powerful.
Right. She holds something that could help us defeat Strahd. I have had a reading, and so far they have led us to things such as this, and I hold up the sun sword and give it a little...
Ah.
You
Yeah, I
seem
mean, I
very-
guess for like for the Maya's benefit, like the sun sword is like a starving person being presented a banquet. You know, it's you know, you've been surviving, but it's you know, having lived off nothing, you are now presented with everything. It is very, very alluring to the Maya, the sun sword. Just basking in
must
its
en-
radiance.
Entrust us with the sword for just a few moments.
No, I don't think that is necessary. I am quite capable of holding onto it myself. Thank you.
With the fresh rain, the fresh water and the sunlight. Perfect. Perfect
Yes.
match.
Right. Where are the other two? I'm gonna wait
I'll join.
awkwardly.
I'll join them.
Sure.
Dog's body's been you've been hearing him in the background just running around
Playing with the
like
kids.
playing tag with the kids. Like,
I'll
just,
be
like, every now and
glancing.
again you can hear like a rawr, you know, kind of you know, it's like kind of trying to spook him and yeah.
Dogs, buddy! Come on now! Please!
Rawr. Tag, you're it.
Why have
I'll
you
run
got
over
the sun
eventually.
sword? Why have you got the sun sword out right now?
I am showing them that there are artifacts of power to defeat Strahd, and we are heading towards another one. With all of them, we could maybe stand a chance.
Why are they looking at it in that way?
I don't know. It's very
Very
strange.
disconcerting.
Irina and Ismark come out of the house. Ismark, he was being treated kind of while you took a long rest. He's taken a long rest. Irina's taken a long rest as well. Ismark, his burns on his face have been covered up by a kind of blackened leather mask, kind of wrapped around like the side of his head and then attached with straps, kind of covering like very Phantom of the Opera, right? Like it kind of covers half
guy.
of his face, and then his blonde hair kind of still spilling out of the unburnt side. So he has this kind of like real Phantom of the Opera kind of vibe to him at the minute. And then he has this long black leather glove that now covers up the burnt arm as well. You can see it's like various straps and belts have been attached to it so that it kind of stays secure in place. He has all of his equipment. He has the silvered flail. He has his battle axe. And he He looks like he is committed to finishing all of this off. You know, he seems resolute. Irina, or Tatiana, with her awakened kind of acknowledgement of who she is, approaches. Well, I would say good morning, but I suppose it already is. Have you decided what you wish to do next? I know that the relic rests with Lysaga. Do you know much about the Witch of the Wilds?
Very little. I was trying to glean some more, perhaps from the mire. And
I think that our newest companions here, if I understand what they are exactly, their knowledge would be... It is not dissimilar to asking a tree or a plant what it knows of the world. It does not understand necessarily the motivations of people, what they are capable of, merely what they impact around them. If I understand you correctly, Meyer, shall we address you?
I am the Maya, and this is the Maya.
We are the Maya.
Yes.
Should
You
we
are the land, yes?
Should we maybe have something to identify which one of you that we are speaking to, or do you always just both answer to the one name?
We are one. We are it.
We're the same.
Okay.
We are all.
I don't think it matters, honestly.
I
One
think
is
that
the
they
same.
are one mind, two bodies. Still, Lysaga, my memories are still fragmented. My life as Irina, as so many other young women here in Barovia, has interfered with my memories as such. There was a time that I went by other names as well, but as
You are the man
Tatiana,
like us.
to an extent, I think many
Many
souls here in
minds in one
Barovia.
body.
More like many books within one book, many stories of the same story retold. Lysaga, there have always been dark rumors. When I was betrothed to Sergei, there were rumors about Lysaga, this old witch who lived out in the wilds. Strahd's mother, Ravenovia, not Ravenovia, yes, Queen Ravenovia, she was always suspicious of this witch Lysaga. She was exiled, was not allowed to approach the prince, Sergei, myself. We heard stories. She's obsessed with Strahd. Obsessed. She would sometimes be seen flying or lurking around the castle, stealing glimpses at him. I am not sure if he harbors any loyalty to her or any connection, but when people in the villages, sometimes if they are desperate, they will seek her out to make bargains and receive magics, trinkets, these sorts of things. I've never heard of it going well. She commands magic, powerful magic, but she's not invaluable. She is not Strahd. She is not divinity. She is not the mists or the dark powers that gave Strahd his powers. She is a mage, a witch, a powerful one, yes. One that has lived far longer than she should have, but still. I think that if we are to proceed, perhaps caution would be best advised. I think that a straight battle against her without other allies could be dangerous. But I do not know what has changed. I do not know if the years have diminished her powers or if she is even stronger than she was when I knew of her. But I'm afraid that
Safe
is all I
to
know.
assume the worst. and prepare for the worst. I think we have learned our lessons in the harshest way possible. We've lost a lot of allies along the way through some foolhardy and some bad thinking.
I know that we are keen to find this relic that you have seen, Jesper, but, and forgive me, perhaps it is not my place to make these decisions, but is it worth us seeking out further allies? I know that that woman, Esmeralda, was cruel and no ally of our friend Dogsbody's, but she seemed to know how to fight. I would fear us if we do end up in a battle against Baba Lysaga without any allies at our side. I just worry how well it will go. There is also the village of Kresik, the town of Kresik. It has walls and people there that may be able to assist us, but I do not know how much we can trust them and what has changed.
I think that's a very fair point. We've lost a lot of people, Jesper. If we go in without backup, again, to someone who is very dangerous by the sounds of it, we might not make it out this time. You and I have somehow, we're the only ones left from our original group. I don't want us to not come out of this one. We need to think carefully because we don't have any backups here. Maybe Kresik is a good shout. Even if Esmeralda doesn't help, maybe others will.
My one concern is this party is doomed, and that responsibility of bringing others into the fold dooms them as well. And yes, we do need strength, but how many more losses are we willing to take? But you're right, we do need something, but I will only accept people into the party if Dogsbody wishes them to be there. So, what do you think?
Dogsbody this whole time has just been staring lovingly at Irina. What? What was the question? Hi. How you doing, Irina? You eating? You slept well? You had enough food to eat?
I'm well, thank you. I know you are. It is difficult. If you wish to call me Irina, or Tatiana, if you wish. I've had many names. I know for Ismark, it's hard not to think of me as Irina. And if that is the same for you, you may call me that as well. But I am well, Dogsbody, yes. I will feel better once we have either found allies or safe walls to hide behind. The were-ravens have shown us a great kindness by harboring us here. But you all know as well as I do, it is only a matter of time till Strahd comes looking for me again. Whatever is keeping him from seeking me out, it must be important.
Speaking of were-ravens, those kids are great, aren't they? Hey, gave me a right run for my money just now. But it reminded me, the witch in the woods in the swamp, she has some of these little kiddies. You know, she's got some of them, and if we go trotting off somewhere else, I can't help but feel that them kiddies is doomed, right? And that's not great. I feel like we owe it to the family. They've done nothing but look after us and give us shelter and food and not stick things in us, you know, sharp things, not throw bottles at me head. And I worry about them kiddies, frankly. And that woman, she wants me dead. She doesn't see me as a living thing. She calls me it. She sees me as less than an animal. And if you need her as an ally, fine. But she stays away from me.
That is fair enough. And you're right. We need to save lives. Right now, we have an issue, and the were-ravens are willing to guide us too. Baba Lysaga as well. Maybe they can lend their assistance on getting some of their people back.
Yeah, they did say, I think, I just need to check their names. Davian's the elder. He's the eldest of the clan. But Adrian, who's the eldest son, Elvir, Stefania, all basically, the three of them, they're the eldest, basically. They said that they would they would come with you, basically, to either try and help you or show you the way, at least. They're not the greatest warriors, but they'd certainly be willing to, like, for the sake of rescuing their children, they would definitely come with you, and you could probably convince them to fight alongside you if needed.
Okay. I think Jesper would be very keen for that idea and would, if everyone else is on board, go and approach them and ask them that we are ready to head off and save their children as soon as we can, really.
Sure. Okay. Yeah, Adrian will come out. He's just like, I'm glad that you have all recovered well. Yes. Myself, my brother, and my sister, my wife, we are all ready to lead you, at least to the village of Perez, and or perhaps we can help you when we get there as well. We have a few simple weapons with us, but mainly we can perhaps provide some reconnaissance, if nothing else.
You have people to stay here to protect what you have here?
Well, if you've taken care of, you told me that you had killed all the druids from Yester Hill. They were dead, yes?
Yes. Of course, there are other threats all the time.
Well, there are, although not so much around here. The woods, the wolves and the bats don't tend to come out during the day as much, not at least into the vineyards. And, well, I mean, unless the devil himself comes looking, I don't think that we have too much to worry about. The main threat is Lysaga now. If we are going to her lands and her lair, then if we see her flying back this way, we come back and we protect our own. But we can at least show you the way. Perhaps two of us will come back once we've shown you, but I'd rather we have numbers as we travel.
Agreed. And I want to make it clear to you all. We draw attention. We have done ever since we've banded together to try and make a difference. So...
You're an enemy of Strahd, of course. The devil doesn't like people that don't bow to him. You've chosen not to bend the knee, yes?
Yes. We show no defiance and we have paid for it as well. And I want you to know that risk in coming with us.
Whatever the devil is up to, I don't think it will end well for us anyway. We do what we must. I know the people of Barovia, a lot of them, their hopes have been trampled, their lives diminished. We've known something else. The blessing of lycanthropy, but also these lands. The wine, the flowers, the grass. It's given us a taste of what life could be. And for that, I'm willing to fight.
Let's save your children.
Thank you.
Walk.
Just
Sure.
as we walk off, can I just elbow Jesper and just lean in and in a loud whisper just be like, "Boy, you didn't give me this warning when I ended up with you lot."
We stumbled upon you, unfortunately, Dog's Body, in the midst of quite a conundrum, I believe. Sorry that I didn't give you fair warning.
Oh, it's all right, mate. It's just, you know, big boy's coming after me now as well. What a motley crew we make.
Dog's Body. Things are... Jesper has had a few more sobering moments ever since. This is obviously Ismark as he's like rasping through his half-burnt throat. Things are a little different, I think. We still had some reckless courage back when we met you.
Rest your voice, mate. I'm only rustling your jimmies.
Let's
I don't know
rustle
what a jimmy is.
some
What is
swamp
a jimmy?
jimmies. I don't
It's
know.
like-
It's-
You know, when you got change in your pockets.
What is the Maya
know.
doing? Both of the Mayas. What is the Maya up to? As all of this is going on, like, we can say that this is like as you guys are like beginning to leave the wizards. Like, if you're happy to just start making progress, like you can leave, and then you can decide when you get to the road. It looks like the Adrian will basically lead you up to a crossroads. So he'll lead you north, or he'll start leading you north. Rather than cutting through the woods and the valleys and the mountains, he's going to lead you up to a crossroads, from which you can either choose to go to Krezk, or he can lead you to the ruined village of Berez, which is where Baba Lysaga is.
How far is Krezk from... Did we find out how far Krezk is from where we currently are?
Krezk. Yeah, hang on. I'm also just going to check the... I'm checking the module map for exactly where Berez is as well. The lands of Barovia, lay of the land. So...
Right next to us.
Let's see here.
I don't know. What were you doing, Ree, during that conversation?
I think my Maya would be like just getting a moment to like drink in the fresh rainwater, because like all they've drunk is swamp water and they haven't had fresh rain for a long time. So I guess they're standing there with their mouth wide open, just drinking in rainwater, and then pooling water into their hands and letting all the bugs come around her hands and drink.
Nice.
Drink from her
Creepy.
hands.
Yeah. I think if there
Love
were
it.
any kids, after you were talking about the kiddies going missing, if any of the kids were still around, then like that head is constantly locked onto the kids running around the garden and stuff, just watching them. Don't know if they actually see me.
These
Well,
are
let me try to stay away
were-raven
from you.
kids, so there's actually little fear. Like, they find the Maya curious, but they're not necessarily afraid of it. But yeah, they just kind of watch it with a kind of curiosity. There's definitely a kind of element of seemingly being comforted by this more natural presence. In terms of distance, each hex on the map is about a quarter mile. And in a day, you guys can cover about 24 miles if you're just moving at a normal pace. And you can cover about 3 miles an hour. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 mile, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2 miles, 1, 2, 3, 4, 3 miles, 1, 2, 3, 4. You can get to Krezk from where you are in just over a bit of an hour of travel by walking. Adrian will tell you that Berez is a little bit further away, and it basically involves heading back down to Argenvostholt and then traveling about another sort of half an hour south. And that will take you probably about 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. That'll probably take you sort of about 3 hours, 4 hours total to get there to Berez.
Okay.
Interesting.
I gotta warn you though. There's nutters in Krezk. Really weird nutty priest, abbot priest. One of those.
We've seen them passing by. What Dog's Body says is correct. We've had them come by for wine. We've traded with Krezk for years. We send them shipments of wine. They're good people generally, but there has been this fervent rebirth of religion there in the last maybe month or so, perhaps less. This new abbot has become the talk of the town. Once a bit of a feared outsider, he is now a hero to Krezk. He's repelled Strahd's forces, fended off creatures from the woods. He's put together an army of soldiers that are stronger, faster than normal people, and he is defending Krezk. They have some strangeness about them. He's made many attempts to have us relocate to the town, but obviously we knew about the secret of the gems. We couldn't leave the winery. But yes, very strange zealotous folk. Fire and light, they seem to be obsessed with. But
Well, I can understand. If there's tangible hope, people will cling to it when there's nothing else. I get it. But it can be easily exploited, so...
Well, before we head off, what direction would you like to head in? I can lead you to the crossroads, and then you decide. The crossroads is maybe, just under, it's not even an hour, really. Half an hour to the crossroads.
Do we really have time to spare detouring to another place when your children are in danger?
Well, I leave that to you. And if our children are taken by Baba Lysaga, we have no hope of rescuing them ourselves. We will try, but I fear that in doing so, we will die. If you choose to go another path to seek aid, that is your decision.
I'll look at everybody else and see what they think.
Obviously, for us, yes, we would prefer you to go as soon as possible. With your help, maybe we can rescue the children. I'm not saying we have to fight Baba Lysaga, but perhaps with your knowledge, your skills, your magic, we can rescue them. But if you feel that you must go elsewhere, that is your destiny.
If it comes to a fight, though, are you able to assist us?
We are... I will fight, yes. Stefania, Elvir, they are younger. They have not fought before. We will do what we can. I will fight, yes. As lycanthropes, we do have greater reflexes than most. We are more resistant to weapons, but Baba Lysaga's magic, well, I don't know how well we will fare against it. But, of course, I will do what I can. Perhaps the others will as well. I'd prefer not. I'd prefer my family. If it was up to me, my wife and I will stay to fight for our children, and I would have my brother and his wife flee. They would have them flee to the rest of my family, gather them, take the gems, and run. Find somewhere in Barovia to hide, if possible.
Well, what does everybody think?
Well, if you're ready to leave, let us make our way to the crossroads, and then you can make a decision there. Because on traveling to the crossroads, I need someone to roll a d20.
No.
Rhiannon, roll a d20 for me,
on, Chris, girl.
please.
Oh, for
Ah.
God's sake.
Ew. You travel without incident.
Hey.
You arrive, and it's a familiar scene because on the way you pass by a broken wagon, Esmeralda's broken wagon that had collapsed as you were being chased. You follow this to a bridge, and you find that this crossroad, you can head northwards across the bridge, and Adrian points, Krezik lies this way, and you can see just in the distance, kind of nestled up into the mountains, this walled town. You can't see any details to it. You can just see the outline of the walls and the buildings, but you can see a walled town to the north. That would be exactly, yes, Kristra. In fact, I will mark it on your maps. So S represents Krezik. I'm going to actually just reveal a bunch of stuff that you've already visited.
S for Strahd.
Yeah, it's kind of just, it's kind of stupid. Oh, actually, there's the name. I can put this here.
There we go.
There's
Nice.
Krezik.
Nice.
Lake Baratok you've been to.
Yeah,
Sonic
the
Woods
giant
you've
Strahd
been to.
attack.
Yep. Valaki you've already got unlocked. Yeah, so to the north, you can head towards Krezik by crossing over the bridge, or if you head south to where Q is, that is Argon Vostholt, where you met Dog's Body, where you recovered the Sun Sword and encountered Strahd. And then further south from that, Adrian gestures is like beyond Argon Vostholt, following along the Luna River, we will find the ruins of Berez, where the witch makes her lair.
I leave it to you.
I would prefer to follow the road. We could cut the time down traveling through the wilderness, but it is far more dangerous to do that.
I wish to save the children as soon as we can. What of the rest of you?
You know me. I'm in it for the kids.
I am too, but I worry that we will end up in a fight here. And we won't have enough.
Might end up in a fight with the abbot and his friends, abbotty friends. Sounds a bit culty to me.
Is Mark...
True, but we know that Baba Lysaga is very powerful and will definitely not take kindly to us. We don't know that the people in Kresik won't take kindly to us. We can assume.
I say that we do our best to rescue the children, but do it stealthily. We try and avoid a fight as best we can, and we run if necessary. Irina looks at him. I think that the Rose has the right of it. As much as I would love to save these children's lives, as much as I feel for them, we cannot help them if we die ourselves. I think that perhaps heading to Kresik may be our best option. And what
You
of...
can help if you die. We can help you if you die. You'll still be with us.
Always be with us.
Comforting.
Do you mean that we will join the mire? That does not sound like it would be useful to us right now.
We will welcome you with open arms, but not until you serve us for a little bit longer. After you expire.
Well,
This thing is beginning to... Ismark is just like looking very uncomfortably at the mire. I do not like the way it looks at me, as if I'm already half buried in the ground.
I'll smile at him.
Ugh.
knowing that Tatiana is, of all of us, has the greatest understanding of the threat that Baba Lysaga faces and poses to us, then perhaps we should at least try and find extra help. Or get wrapped up and embroiled in more problems at Kresik. We'll see. I'm happy to try. If we can be quick about it.
We can
I'll
You
put
see-
a time limit on it.
Tatiana wants to do.
We can maybe give ourselves a certain amount of time. If we're not getting anywhere, we get back on the road.
Very well.
You do see, as you are having this conversation, Adrian and the Were-Ravens do look a little bit crestfallen. They do look like they kind of resign themselves, like, yep. They kind of accept that this probably is not going to turn out very well for them. But they don't say anything. You can just see that they're kind of heart breaks a little bit. Adrian nods his head. Well,
Oh no!
this is as far as we can take you then. I'll have to have my brother and I will go and scout out Berez. We'll send our wives back to the others and begin making plans to see what we can do to rescue our children. I hope that you can find help quickly and that you stay safe.
I'm sorry. Is there any chance you can wait for us?
We will wait as long as we can, and we will scout out Perez. But if it looks like Lysaga is going to do something with our children, we know that she intends to kill them if we do not give up the gemstones, if we do not give up the land. We will do whatever thing we can. We will wait as long as possible, but I do not know when we will need to act. I'm sorry. We do not act now. I do not know when we will. But if you think this is the best course of action, you have returned the gemstones to us. You have recovered the one that we lost. You are clearly enemies of Strahd, and if you feel that is best, if you feel that your destiny lies in Kresik, then so be it. Not every life can be saved. And they look very sad at that particular line.
Well, son of a bitch.
Children.
On one hand,
Humans.
he has an NPC that's like, we should go to Kresik, and on the other, the crestfallen where.
Yeah, it's almost like the DM doesn't want to tell you what to do, and instead you guys make your own decisions.
Yeah, of course.
You humans are confusing creatures. You seem to keep yourself from death for so long, and yet death is being delivered to these children, and we run away.
Not now. That is. Again.
The walking swamp does have a point. We go to preserve ourselves and consign these children to death?
Seeds
She
never
holds
fall
a
far
relic
from the
that-
tree.
She holds a relic that you desire so much. Why do we walk away?
We have nothing to give her. We have nothing to persuade her. Does anyone have any idea how we would avoid a combat and still get what we want out of this?
Sneaky
What can
sneaks.
we do?
Sneak? Steal?
Sneaky
Lure her away? Like some sort of beast? I need to get more rough when I'm speaking as Ismark now. Lure her away, sneak in, rescue the children. Perhaps we come back for the relic. The children must be our first priority, though, yes? Rescue them,
Yes.
get them back to their parents so that they can flee. Then we can come for the relic. Let us at least go and see where they are being held. If Lysaga has them in her clutches, then maybe we have to back off. But maybe she keeps them separate from herself. Maybe they are locked away somewhere that we can rescue
This
them
is
from.
true. We can take the opportunity to scout at least, weigh up our options by knowing. First.
But if she finds us, Ismark, if she finds us, Jesper,
You fuck.
as Rose says, that will be a battle. A battle we may not
You
win.
raise another good point.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, it's almost like
I
these
feel like I'm
NPCs
becoming Maya.
have their own opinions.
How dare they have their own opinions? How dare
How
they?
dare they? How dare they not just tell you what to do? How dare they?
I just want to hear Ismark
bodies.
and Tatiana argue.
Just argue.
yeah, just argue. Should we go? Should we just go and Mark can do the next hour?
It's like choosing.
Um,
It's like choosing death or death of NPCs.
Well, it's like death now,
Children
death
NPCs.
later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
I
they're
think-
kids.
lost
They're out
most
again.
of the party already. Okay,
Yes, but I think
multiple times actually. 2 deaths each for some of them.
It's been. I love how as well. Like Jesper is like flip flopping as a coin. It's just like, no, we should go and rescue the children. But maybe Kresik is a good idea. No, we must rescue the children. But
The
what
moment
if?
anyone brings up a different argument, he's like, "Oh no, you're right." you're
That's a
right."
good point.
he's on
Yeah.
that precipice of like, how best can we,
Do this.
you know, where's our best chances of actually making a difference right now? That's where Jesper is like, if we just throw ourselves, you know, unwillingly into Lysaga and die, no one is saved, versus wasting our time potentially getting caught up in something in Kresik and everybody dies anyways. And he's also got that guilt. There's a lot of guilt. So I think he's nudging towards helping now. I can't
In
let
Katie's
this
brain,
stand.
she's thinking about the fact that there's a little green gem in the ground and that's what she wants. So why don't we cover it in bioluminescent algae as a diversion?
That's what I was thinking. I was
literally-
thinking diversion as well.
Diversion. No.
Um,
But yeah, I think that seeing the guilt from, yeah, it's kind of leaning more towards helping now because of them being like, okay. meh."
What can I say?
Yeah, I mean, like,
Amaya's
this is,
convinced
they're
me.
literally, they know that if you guys walk away, it, like, the were ravens, and you can tell this just from insight, like, passive insight and things like that. If you walk away, if you go to Kresik, the chances that their kids will die and that they may die rescuing them go up exponentially. Whereas if you help now, there is still a great risk, but the chances that they can save their kids is higher.
Going up exponentially is
TPK. TPK.
Listen,
Go
the
out with a
sooner we
bang.
TPK, the sooner we can play something else.
I don't want that.
Dog's body
Oh, I
is
don't want that. I don't want that either.
firmly team Were-Raven. Like, they've been
Team
kind
save
to
kids.
him. You know, he
Yeah.
loves kids. Like, and they're sad. They're making sad. He's stood right now watching the Were-Ravens walk off, and he's making that, you know, that really sad.
Well, they're not
little
walked off
whiny
yet.
dog
They're
noise where he's
kind
like,
of stood away because you guys are still deciding what to do. So you guys are still deciding
okay, well, he's
what
still
to
making
do.
sad
Just stood
little.
to the side.
He's still making sad little noises, like.
Oh, it's Barovia. Everything's sad. Everyone's sad. Boo-hoo.
All right.
We
Just
are
consider
many
it
in
this way.
Shores one,
There's
yes.
going to be a
I'm
TPK
sad.
in Krezik.
Yes, but
What
we'll
did you say,
call
Ree?
out.
Oh, sorry.
Oh. Yeah. What did you say,
I just
Ree?
didn't want Ree to get spoken over.
We are many and she is one, yes.
I thought you were one.
We are one.
We are one and many, but she is just one.
Wait!
A very
And I'll call out
power
to the
of
werewolves.
We cannot help you go to Krezik, my friend. I'm sorry.
We can't let this happen. We cannot waste any more time. We will help you now.
You see a big wave of relief just wash over all of them. Adrian's tears kind of glisten for a moment. Thank you.
Don't thank
Perez
me
is
yet.
this way.
We'll do our best. But we must be extra
course.
cautious. Let's not
Of
throw
course.
our lives away.
Yes, of course. We will follow your lead. Good friends. And with that, he will begin to lead you on to Berez. And there's a couple of rolls. So that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So you're going to have to make 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2.
Don't worry, Ree's got
4.
this. Definitely.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
It either
so-
goes nat
Died.
20 or 1 and 2.
Right.
Like, there's nothing in the middle.
Three d20 rolls. We'll start with the first one. And you just want Ree to make all of them? You don't want to split these up between anybody?
At this
All
point,
right.
why?
All right, sure. Ree,
Okay.
roll a d20 for me, Ree.
Take the wheel.
Okay.
Take the wheel.
Take the wheel,
know.
Ree.
Reeses, take
Nine.
the wheel.
9. Another
Praise
hour
us.
goes past. Another half hour as you travel. You make your way through these kind of narrow woodland trails, these kind of roads, these dirt roads that have been carved between these ominous twisting woods. You travel near. You can begin to see Argynvostholt on a large hill above you. Nothing happens. Second d20 roll, please, Rhiannon.
Oh. 11. We're getting
11.
higher.
Slowly higher.
Second
Slowly.
roll. You weave past Argynvostholt, this kind of shadowy ruin above you on this hilltop, as you kind of follow the base of the hills around, and you begin to see the sight of a winding river rushing beneath you. It's probably about sort of just before midday, sort of like a late 10 a.m., 11 a.m. at this point. You make your way the kind of dead grey grass of Barovia beneath your feet to this light drizzling rain just falling upon you. You guys are, fuck's sake. You guys had gone up here. You'd had your rest. You've moved your way down to Barovia, to Argynvostholt. And now you are basically en route towards Berez. But we need one last d20 roll from Miss Rhiannon, please.
It's alright, it's
Come
going
on,
to be
Ree,
a
you
Take
can
your
do
time,
it.
Ree.
No, it's high.
16. You are technically
Fucked.
Dead.
2 for dead, 1 for fucked. Oh.
Oh, do you count as being on a road here? I think you do. The third and final roll, you proceed, nothing happens. Instead, you
What?
come to the very edges. It's the day So the random encounters thing it varies depending on the time of day and whether you are in the wilderness or not. So
Oh, so we're actually somehow safe, or
you do not
How
encounter
did
anything.
that happen?
You don't encounter anything on
God.
the road.
Do we see
so
the new artifact just lying there on the road?
you
just
do
pick it up?
not. No,
Oh.
you do not. So you guys are coming.
Lysaga is
from
dead.
north. Nope.
Oh,
it's so easy.
Yay.
children
Fractured Strahd is
Day.
easy.
Ding dong, the witch is dead. Tra la la
Nope.
la
Nope.
la.
Nope. Nope. Nope.
they all ganged
Absolutely
up on
not.
The people
Nope.
of Oz are free.
Nope. Nope. Nope.
It was a dream.
it. They were the children of the revolution.
There's no place like
So
What?
this isn't
Nice.
like this isn't a battle map. So I'm just going to put Jesper on there to signify where you guys currently are. And now I get to read you some text. The trail
Yay.
hugs the river for several miles. The dirt and grass soon turns to marsh as the trail dissolves into spongy earth pockmarked with strands of tall reeds and pools of stagnant water. A thick shroud of fog covers all. Scattered throughout the marsh, you can see old peasant cottages, their walls covered with black mildew, their roofs mostly caved in. These decrepit dwellings seems to hunker down in the mire, as though they had long since given up on escaping the thick mud. Everywhere you look, black clouds of flies dart about, hungry for blood. The fog is much thinner on the far side of the river, where a light flashes amid a dark ring of standing stones. And you guys are approaching from the north here. Oh, whoops.
Okay.
And this is what you see before you as you make your way out. I think this can be a battle map, actually.
It doesn't have to be.
So, you guys can talk amongst yourselves.
No battle.
Oh, I realised I don't have a token for the Maya yet.
It'll just be a regular map.
Oh, what a shame.
Well, no, it's more because, like, if you guys want to explore and move around, it's good to know your positions and things like that.
Are these like 10-foot squares rather than 5?
These are 1 square is actually 100 feet, so it's massive. This is like a big village, right? Like this is like a huge village, basically. But it's just for like where you guys move about and like locations.
Half a minute to move a square. Technically, at like 30-ish feet.
Yeah, like if you're thinking sort of like it's going to take you a long time to move around. But if we get into a combat, we won't use this map. It's more like, if you guys want to split up and check out different buildings and things like that.
Yeah.
What are the chances of
Yeah,
that
why would
happening?
you?
She's
Why
not-
would you? It's crazy.
Oh, no, she's gone shopping. One for Mackie D's.
How about, do I have like some, what's a good
Zombie?
token I can use? Yeah, zombie, or I'm thinking, do I have like blights or anything?
What about
Just
like
a bug?
the
Like a big fly?
Vine
a
blight.
mushroom
I
from
must have-
Mario?
A Goomba. Vine
The
blight.
one
is
up.
Perfect.
Oh, one up
Dry
mushroom.
bones?
I'll put a vine blight and a twig blight.
boing,
Here
boing.
you go. There's the Maya.
Oh yeah, the
Aw.
blights are good.
Oh, I hate it. Thank you.
Nice. So this is what you see. You see this kind of swamp, like just drowned village. Like this village is just completely covered by this thick marshland and swamp. As you get closer, Tatiana/Irina begins holding her head, and you can see she's like almost unconsciously crying, and kind of clutching to herself. As she gets closer, Ismark is kind of like, Irina, are you all right? And she kind of like touches her face and realizes that she's crying. Yes, something, bad memories, old memories of a life I had here once, when this place before it was a ruin.
Anything that could be of use?
No, I don't think so. I remember that I was a girl here once. I was a Marina was my name. A young woman, reborn, my soul. When the village found out who I was, what I meant to Strahd, they burned me at the stake. Kill me. Strahd's anger was terrible. So much death. He did this. And she gestures to the swamp.
I'm sorry.
An old life, like so many, ruined by Strahd. Oh, my Sergei. If only. She just kind of trails off.
Would you like a hanky? Dog's body holds out
Thank
his hanky.
Thank you, Dog's Body. And she kind of like, takes your hand and takes the hanky from it. And yeah, there's just this like overwhelming comfort when she's kind of like, her hand brushes against yours. And it is supernatural. Like you feel weird. Like you didn't have these kind of emotions around Irina before, but there is this kind of like sense of belonging to her as you kind of do so. Weird.
Confusing. That didn't happen with Zeros.
Dog's body starts.
That's because
Dog's body starts
Zeros
having
was.
this feeling of like, yeah, he was.
It
he
was there for
mean.
Zeros. He just never acted
Of
on it.
like, yeah, if Dog's body was in his wolf form, his tail would be wagging right now. But it's not. But he can feel his like, psychic tail.
So you're
like when
twerking.
you have that like phantom limb
Phantom
feeling.
tail.
Like yeah,
Sure.
yeah. He's
I
not
say
twerking,
we,
Tom.
Oh.
I say we keep low and head to the closest buildings, perhaps over here to the west, and work our way down from there.
The Adrian will point the middle of the village. Maybe you can just about see it, but there is an old hut built into an enormous tree. That is Lysaga's lair. That is where she resides. It's difficult to see in this fog, but it's in the middle of the village, so just be aware. Be quiet.
I hope your people aren't there. Let's
Me too.
see if they're in any of these ruins first.
Sure. So what's the plan? Yes, but you're going to lead people around like this northern edge and check out these there's buildings to the you can see that there's like a bunch of buildings to the west,
yeah.
and then to the southwest as well. So you're just going to
If
head
it's all
straight
like
west.
decrepit ruins with no roofs or anything and no chance of any life there.
I mean, there's
then-
not. I mean, their roofs have caved in. They're covered in like mildew and fungus. Moving through this swamp, by the way, as well as you are moving through a swamp. You are wading through stagnant bog water and thick mud that comes up probably to your thighs. It's like you can't help but it's very difficult to move through, and it's very difficult to do so quietly. As you kind of. The were-ravens probably, as they get closer, they will transform into their raven form. So they are just like, quite big raven birds. And they kind of flap around and land on like the odd tree nearby, trying to, not get bogged down into the swamp itself.
Can I cast Pass Without Trace?
You absolutely can, of course. What does this look like, Maya, when you cast Pass Without a Trace?
More bugs! Loads of. I guess because all the black bugs around would like make.
Yeah,
a
there's all these
black
like
veil.
flies. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. So you kind of find this kind of shroud of insects kind of surrounds you. They're buzzing, quieting the sound of the waters being moved, like kind of parted as you sploosh and schlurp your way through this mud. This thick veil of mosquitoes and flies just kind of disguising all of you. So read out Pass Without Trace just for podcast listeners and stuff as well.
Yep. So, a veil of shadows and silence radiates from you, masking you and your companions from detection. For the duration, each creature you choose within 30 feet of you, including you, has a +10 bonus to dexterity checks and can't be tracked except by magical means. The creature that receives this bonus leaves behind no tracks or other traces of its passage.
Perfect. So yeah, +10 bonus to stealth for everybody. Yeah.
Nice.
So, as you guys make your way over, yeah, this is going to be stealth checks from everybody except the ravens who can fly, who just kind of fly over and perch on the things. But everybody else is stealth checks with a +10 bonus.
Nice. Oh my god. 16.
Oh,
Fine.
yeah,
Total
I
one.
rolled a 6.
31.
6,
You get a +10 bonus, don't
17,
forget.
18, 19,
Oh, I know.
20.
16.
30, 20.
30, 20. Okay. So. Okay. Give me a second, dear friends.
Okay.
Dearest
As
companions.
as we're squelching, can I just like go to the Maya and just be like, "Oh, you two must be right at home here." Squelch, squelch.
I mean, are you talking loudly, Dog's Body? Because if you're trying to be stealthy, talking loudly is definitely
Whispering
going
in
to mess
it.
with
I
that.
know that we're stealthing
Okay.
here. I'm just trying to, break the mood a little bit.
If
make
you guys
some
want to position
friends,
yourselves in like a marching order, if there's any changes to what I've done. So I currently have Jesper leading the way, with Maya Ree, kind of following with the Pass Without Trace, Ismark, Irina, other Maya, and then Rose and Dog's Body at the back. But if you want to change that, feel free. When you kind of make your way, this kind of how long does Pass Without a Trace last, by the way, Ree?
An hour.
It's an hour.
An hour, okay. Yeah, easily enough. Making your way through. As you approach this cluster of ruined cottages separated by lone stone walls, you can see a short stretch of dirt road that has remained intact, that seems to curve south. You can see that in the middle of this village there would have probably once been kind of crop fields. They've all now just been completely swamped, but there is still the occasional piece of like wooden fence post that sticks out of it, jutting out at odd angles. And in the middle of the field, as you kind of make your way down, checking out all of these different houses, you eventually kind of make your way all the way down, following this kind of elevated road, which gives you some relief from the thick waters and mud from the swamp. There is just kind of like a couple of lone scarecrows still kind of like outstretched on the poles of these once farms, just kind of lurking around, positioned. What was the lowest stealth check, by the way? Was it 16, I think?
Yeah, I think it was my one, 16.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, you don't seem to draw any attention from any creatures hidden out in this village. Yeah, you just seem to pass by. You do begin to see emerging from the mists, in the very center of the farm, just south of you, a few hundred feet away, is this enormous tree. This kind of enormous great oak that's still half submerged, but built into it, you can see the vague outline of like a ramshackle hut that's been built onto the stump of this, like half engraved into the tree itself and the stump, is this great, hut that's been built. There is a little bit of elevated land around it. You can see what appears to be oh no, okay. Yeah, that's it. That's all you can see.
I fear that there is nothing here but this tree, this hut, and that the children are in close proximity to Baba Lysaga herself. I see nothing but ruins and swamp.
What about the standing stones?
They're on the far side of the river. You can see shapes of other buildings beyond the tree. They're just faint outlines in the thick fog. So the buildings you can see on the map, there appears to be maybe what appears to be like an old mansion building to the very far south, but you can just see like faint outlines. It's like a big house. And then there is some sort of monument, just very, very vaguely west of the tree in the very center.
What do you think, Dog?
Almost like it was once a graveyard.
Should we investigate?
I mean, yeah, I'm gonna keep going until we find him. But Didn't you guys mention something about a windmill and pies? So, I don't know how witches work. Ovens? Is that a thing?
That was hags, I believe, with the pies.
Yes, it was hags. It wasn't. It was different. I'm wondering if it's worth maybe if Adrian can fly over the mansion, see if there's any sign of life within it, just in case she's keeping the children there. If not, then I don't see anywhere else they can be other than in the hut itself, which is our last resort.
Good idea.
Yeah.
What's the plan?
I'd say, yeah, that we're even scouting, seeing anything through the
Aerial
windows or...
surveillance.
Okay. Yeah, they'll if you kind of gesture to them, they'll nod their beaks and they will fly off. I will make perception checks with disadvantage because of the mists and the fog.
While they're doing that, the mire, the one
Do
Yes.
you
with
have need of us?
the bugs, do you have control?
I have control.
Can you see through them? Scout?
I think you can. I'm pretty sure you can.
It's
Okay,
okay to take a minute. It's okay to take a second. Check your abilities.
I'm having a-
Okay, you know, this is the Swarm Keeper. I don't know too much about it. I've not played one. I don't know if you can. I
Pass
don't
without
think
a
it's like a
trace
familiar.
No.
Is pass without trace of
Concentration.
concentration.
Yeah.
From what I
Uh,
remember, it's not like it's a familiar. The bugs.
No, they can move me.
They can move you. They can move enemies that you hit, like with attacks
Yeah.
as well.
Don't you have Arcane Eye?
They can deal damage. I don't think I've got Arcane Eye. I'm having a look.
That's
Oh, it
13th
might be a
level,
high
for
level.
Arcane Eye.
No.
13th level. Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah, you can't quite. The bugs have to remain quite close proximity to you, Maya, to like have any sort of control over them in that way.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you have like other spells, like other ranger spells that could help. I don't know.
See.
Uh,
So the bugs can deal damage. They can move
meantime-
me and they can push other people.
Dog's body.
just while Ree's checking, Dog's Body has heightened senses, which means I have advantage on wisdom perception checks that rely on hearing or smell.
That's
So can
only
he
when you're in
try
your
and,
hybrid form,
like-
I believe.
No.
Is
it
it not?
doesn't say anything about needing to be
Oh,
transformed.
okay.
No.
Ah, I thought you had to be in a hybrid form for that.
I mean, hybrid form comes after it, and then it has a hybrid transformation on my sheet has a
I
whole
know, yeah, and it says
section,
starting when
and
you
it's not
choose
in
this
that.
archetype at 3rd level, you begin to adapt the improved abilities of a natural predator.
Yeah.
You gain advantage on wisdom perception checks that rely on healing or smell. Yeah, no, so that's it's just a separate ability. Yeah. I thought it was
Yeah,
part of your
so
transformation.
I guess can I try and hear or smell for them, or just like
Yeah,
hear
I'd say
for any
that,
noises or
Yeah, make a perception check with advantage. This will be more hearing than smell, because smell, the swamp, the kind of stagnant foul water masks most things. In terms of sight, the mist blocks most of it, but hearing's unimpeded.
So I rolled a 15 and a 13, and I've got -1 on perception, so 14.
You're kind of driven, you know, you have voices in your head all the time. It's sometimes hard to separate those out from real things. However, it doesn't stop you from hearing a couple of things. One, you can hear very loud squawking of birds coming from the hut built into the giant tree. So you can hear like, constantly like squawking, and it's quite loud. You know, anything near there is going to have a hard time hearing anything above the sound of that loud squawking that's kind of echoing across the swamp. The other thing you can ever so faintly hear because of your keen hearing, I wouldn't have given you this as a success without that feature. Beyond that squawking to the south, maybe in that big mansion building, the big ruined building, you think you can hear faint sobbing.
Okay.
Kind of like...
Now, I don't know if this is just Bobbit who's in my head, but I can hear some crying coming from the mansion in the south. There's also a real ruckus of birds coming from that hut, but I don't know. I don't feel good about it.
The crying is a good source, a good lead. We should head there first. And avoid the hut, if we can.
Yeah. I agree.
What is the significance of this crying? What is crying?
It can denote sadness, perhaps fear, if the kiddies are scared that they're being captured. You can cry when you're happy sometimes, when you're feeling a bit emotion and all. It's when water comes out of your eye ducts.
So
These are your eyes.
These kiddies
here.
could be happy or sad.
Why
Like we
Probably
said.
said.
Water. Water is precious.
Salty
Why would
water.
they lose it?
Because they're
Waste.
scared. Well, that's how
They
scared
don't-
they are.
They don't get to choose, unfortunately. Come, let's try and give a wide breadth of the hut and head south towards
Sure.
these ruins.
The were-ravens haven't yet come back, by the way.
Are they good at locating? I don't really know, I guess.
You don't know. So you're going to continue moving through. You have to end up now. How close do you want to get to the tree in the middle? You can move further out and try and skirt it even further by kind of heading up more into the swamp and coming round.
I might go through this thing, whatever
okay.
that is.
So, all right, sure. So you guys all begin moving up, following Yes's lead. Can you guys
At any
make
point,
other?
someone else can
Yep.
take the lead.
Sure. I'm just moving you at the
Dog's
front
Body
because
will
you
take
seem to be
it.
making the decisions. Sure. Okay. Dog's
Yeah.
Body takes the lead.
Dog's body will
Right.
take it, like tracking
Okay.
the sound.
Okay. Can you guys give me another stealth check after kind of pausing to scope things out? You begin moving again. Give me another round of stealth checks, please.
Yeah.
Don't forget your plus 10.
32.
24.
18.
Oh.
Oh, adios!
Is that nat 1?
So
16.
But 16 is still, with pass without a trace, 16 is still 16.
Some.
You pass by another one of these, like, you move through the farm, and there is just this terrifying, you can see it's been a kind of toothy grin has been stitched onto its burlap sack of a head. Its hands, made from these, twisted, very sharp-looking branches, Scarecrow is just kind of propped up on this pole sticking out of this swampy ground. And it's just, it's very unnerving the way that it's been built. It doesn't look like a normal scarecrow. But you move through, it doesn't move or react or anything. As you begin moving towards the far side of things, you begin to see a big swarm of angry-looking insects is beginning to kind of gather the further over towards the side of Berez you get. But Dog's Body and Jesper kind of lead you a bit more south. You come across the remnants of a graveyard, really. It's barely anything. A couple of stone walls. You can see through the fog there is an empty shell of maybe an old stone church at the far end to the south. And cemetery with kind of gravestones enclosed by a very faded, rusted iron fence. Most of it has sunk down into the mire itself. But you don't see anything
Other mire.
untoward. Both mires. Both mires.
Mire in the mire.
You don't see anything untoward. You can keep going if you want to try and reach the walls of this mansion.
Fight Mire with Mire.
Nice.
Dog's Body, you going to keep leading everyone south?
I'll follow Dog's Body, yeah.
Sure. Everyone follows in. At this point, the were-ravens probably return and kind of catch up with you. Adrian will shift back, and you see this kind of black bird. It kind of stretches, its feathers kind of grow out as its wingspan becomes a pair of arms. The black feathers become dark, long hair as he shifts back into his human form. We could not see anything. The mist here is very thick. Most of the ground is covered. From above, it's difficult to really pick out any details, apart from there are ravens calling for help in the hut. We can hear them crying out. They say that they are trapped, but they are natural ravens. They are not my children. That is really all we could hear.
Okay. Dog's Body heard something sobbing coming from the ruins just ahead. So.
Sure. Towards the south end of the village lie the remains of a mansion built on higher ground. It has been reduced to piles of stone and rotting timbers. Empty arched windows stare at you, and south of the ruin is an untamed garden runs rampant, surrounded by broken walls that are no longer able to contain it. You can't see this. They're on the far eastern side, from the opposite side to where you're approaching from. You do glance what appears to be a fence of some kind, and that crying becomes audible to pretty much all of you as you make your way through. Do you want to? You can eat. So you can move through the ruined mansion itself. You can try and go down south towards the gardens and make your way through that, or you can go around the front of the mansion, like in through the swamp. To do so, you will need to pass many of these scarecrows. You can see there's lots of them, especially around that tree in the middle. There's lots of these scarecrows all put on poles, and you would get closer to the large tree as well if you avoid the mansion.
That's a hard pass there, Mark.
Sure.
Yeah, we'll try and go through the top of it, I guess, around the top.
The mansion?
Towards... Yeah.
So, like, through the actual ruins, like, clambering over the broken stones and timbers, that sort of thing? Yes? No? Maybe?
I guess so, yeah.
I don't know. Could you repeat the question?
I think that's probably the
If it's
most
not
natural way.
Sure.
If it's not too treacherous, I think. And
Dog's Body, as you begin stepping over the stones, it's really just the mansion was built on higher ground, so it's not flooded. It's just like soft earth, but all the timbers have collapsed. It's really just the shell of its former self. And as you step through, you can't help but shiver as this unnatural chill spreads over you, like the shadow of death crosses over you. Rose, you hear whispered kind of softly in your ear, you just hear, "Why do you invade my home? Be gone!"
Do I get the sense that I could talk back in, is it like telepathically that I hear that?
It's not telepathically, it's like a
No,
whisper.
it's just I
Like
hear
somebody right behind you.
Oh.
You turn around, there's nobody there.
Oh, okay, there's something here. There's something bad here. We shouldn't be here.
Stones clatter from a broken archway.
The kids.
We just want to find some friends. We don't want to disturb you.
There are no friends here. Only death. You see this spectral form begins to shift out of the mist itself. Pallid grey skin, its body see-through, translucent in the very mists. Hair kind of swept back, and you can see jagged chunks of flesh ripped from its neck as its head almost lops to the side. It limps with one leg, its body covered in multiple claw marks and wounds. Be gone from here.
Do we see
do
any
that.
sign of anyone else in this
At this
area?
point, there's enough debris that the walls of the mansion are still blocking the sight of whatever's on the other side that you could hear the crying coming from. You'll need to move through this area, and this form has appeared in front of you, between you and where you're trying to go.
Can you still hear crying?
Just very faintly, but it's like coming and going in waves.
Only death.
You seen any
What do you
crying
want?
children around here? Crying children.
Many children cried when our Lord killed them here. Buried my village beneath the waters in punishment for what I did. I killed so many. One life, but dozens.
Why do you deny the Maya?
Your Honor?
I took her life because I knew if he had her, terrible things would come. But in doing so, I condemned all of the people in my charge to timeless, endless death.
We are not on his side. We would do the same as you. We want to keep him from her.
And you would bring death.
At this point, by the way, Irina and Ismark are behind you with the were-ravens. You're kind of, stood in front of them.
If you deny him, only death awaits you. Be gone. Leave this place. Leave me to my misery.
We only want the children, the living children who are currently here. You can do something good. You can save them by handing them over to us, and we will leave, and we will never come back.
Children. She was only a girl when I burned her. What are 2 more lives in all the horrors that Barovia has done, that Strahd has done? 2 more lives. Leave me to my misery, to my pain of what I did. 1 girl. Burned.
Two more lives could be a very big difference. Please.
I care only for the one I burned, my daughter, Marina. My Marina.
You can see that the ghost isn't like thinking logically. Like this spirit is tormented and trapped in its own memories. It doesn't seem to really value the lives of whatever living children may be here. It's caught up on this tale it's telling.
We cannot pass through this creature without either backing away or going somewhere else. Skirting around it, I don't know.
Let me speak with him. And Irina will kind of save from behind you, Jesper.
Yeah, I'll stand aside.
So when you stand aside and Irina steps forward, this ghost seems to react like almost as if he kind of goes,
Be gone.
and then it stops. You see Irina, and she sings this very this low, dull note, kind of like just like a kind of and then her form shifts, and she becomes a girl that none of you have ever seen before. She becomes a younger woman with long, dark, curly hair in a white robe, almost like a nightdress, and the spirit's eyes go wide.
Marina. My Marina.
He reaches up and his ghostly hands cup Irina's kind of shifted face, this kind of illusion spell that she's created around herself. Holds the face.
You live.
Yes, Father. I'm alive because you saved me. You saved me from a fate worse than death. And we will save many more. She touches the ghost's form, and then you just see it vanish. And it just kind of breathes out this one last breath of relief.
Marina.
And the air goes still. I'm going to mark off that spell for Irina. Her form shifts back to the Irina that you know.
Are
I
you
think that
okay,
was.
Irina?
Yes, that was. I think that must have been Marina's father, the burgomaster of this place, the one who burned her at the stake to save her from Strahd. Tried to purify her.
Do you feel anything? Any memories from then?
It is like trying to ask if you, asking if you remember the feelings of when you were a child. They are memories, but they are distant, like a story you were told once, perhaps. I know it, but I do not feel it.
Well, it was enough to help us, so thank you. Let's see what's on the other side.
Yes. Just remember that Borovia has weathered Strahd many years, many times. I have lived centuries, countless different versions of myself have been reborn here. There are many, many tragic tales in this land. And with that, she just nods to the other side of the walls where you can see this continuing. As you make your way, as I'm assuming you do, you eventually cross over to the other side of the mansion, and Dogsbody, you're the first to see. You see what appears to be a fence. The were-ravens kind of fly overhead. You see a pen, like an animal pen, except for this one, 50 human skulls are mounted on the tops of fence posts around this circular pen. Within the gate, within the kind of penned area, lie dozens of slaughtered goat carcasses, cut open, blood drained until they look dissected and withered, and sat, bound to a large wooden stake, are two, was it three? I think I said three. Three young children. Two boys and one young girl. They are kind of wrapped up in rope in the middle of this pen, and the pen is like 10 foot high. So like there's these big wooden stakes with skulls mounted on it in a big circular 10-foot tall pen around them. There is a gate, like a wooden kind of latch gate, and they're just staked into the very middle of it.
Quickly, cut them down.
Oh, sorry, no, there is no gate. There is no gate. It's just a 10-foot high.
Quickly,
10-foot
we
high
need to
fence.
find a way in. Were-ravens, can you fly over and start pecking at the ropes, something like that, to bring them down?
Yes, we can get over, I think. As the ravens try to kind of fly over, there appears to be some sort of barrier. They just bounce into it, and you can see the faint traces of what appears to be a magic circle that kind of shimmer into life. They kind of bounce off of it. They shift in, and this time when they shift, rather than becoming a human, they become these raven humanoid hybrids. The head of a raven with like this long beak, but these muscular arms with like feathered limbs kind of hanging off it. These kind of clawed talons shift into these half hybrid forms.
There is some sort of barrier that is preventing us from getting past. I don't understand it.
Can I investigate, like get close to the wall and see if there is
Or
any
just like
sort
look
of
at the
arcane energy coming from it or anything like that?
make an
Or
Arcana check for
markings
me.
on the floor.
Yeah. Make an Arcana check.
10.
10. I think that you would be vaguely aware of that there are kind of like warding circles that can be placed down. You know, people can do it to protect themselves from demons or ghosts. Maybe this one is attuned to kind of to stop the were-ravens being able to fly away or to fly in, perhaps. Maybe it's attuned to keep shape changes out, so lycanthropes and the like, but the exact nature of like, will it stop you? Will it harm you? Will it? You don't know the spell, so.
The mire. You emerged from the ground. Can you go into it and back up the other side?
Oh. No. If you wish me through the gate, I can try.
There is no gate.
If you
But there
wish
is like
me
these
to go through
10
this
foot.
open area,
Well, yeah, it's like, so imagine like these a wooden animal pen, right? Wooden fence, 10 foot high, skulls mounted on top of it, like 50 skulls mounted in a circular pattern around on this thing. The wooden fence is thick enough that you can't just like step through it, right? It is a fence, like, a fence that would keep animals in, like goats or sheep and stuff like that.
where
Can
does
you
the
put
magic end?
things? Can I take an arrow and just
Mhm.
put the end between the? Does that go through between the posts?
So the it's kind of got like this thick thatch weaving. If you wanted to put an arrow through it, you would have to force it through, like break part of the fence to get the arrow through it. I mean, it
right,
looks like
okay.
it's made of like wicker and reeds. It doesn't look particularly strong. The
I was
actual
more wondering
fencing.
if there was a magic that came back off if I tried to do that.
When you approach it, you don't get the sense that there's any magic that would prevent you from climbing over it or breaking it or anything like that. It seemed to stop the were-ravens. They couldn't do anything. They couldn't even move close to the fence. Like, they were being stopped like a few inches away
Okay.
from the fence. You can kind of reach in, and even if you don't touch it, you can get your hand closer than the were-ravens can. And you can see Adrian and Stefania, the two that have kind of come with you. They're agitated. They're just like, oh, we need to. What can we do? They're like the children are like looking at them with like eyes wide. You can see they've been gagged, like by the mouth. Their hands are tied behind to this wooden post, but they're like,
Can I try and get near to the post and try?
See, here's the interesting thing. Technically, your type isn't shape changer. You have lycanthropy. I'm going to say, Kim, this is going to be a bit kind of an ad hoc thing. I'm going to say you can't, because you are still a lycanthrope. You are still a shape changer. But it's just, in D&D terms, you don't have that because you're a player character. But I'm going to say that for all intents and purposes, you are basically a werewolf. So you're like, it's like pushing against steel. You're like, and you can't even push against it.
Am I also a shape changer?
No, you are not.
Not
Nor are you
lycanthrope.
undead. Yeah, you are. There is enough sentient life in the Mire that both of you are considered humanoid creatures. You are
I'm
not
a
shape
druid,
changers.
though.
Yeah, but you're not a lycanthrope and a shape changer is a different thing to being able to change form.
Yeah, you're
a
magically
wizard,
able to change
yeah,
your
a
form.
wizard can turn themselves into things. That isn't the same thing as being a shape changer. Shape changer is a creature that naturally can shift its form without magic.
We cursed.
Yeah, they're
If
cursed,
they
basically.
cannot enter, then we'll have to go alone. We can break the fence or climb it.
Does it look climbable, or is it quite
It's tall. It's like 10 foot high. I mean, you could try.
spiky
yeah.
top?
Yeah, you'd probably have to like wedge some weapons or something in to like create handholds or something like that. Otherwise it's like trying to grip just almost not sheer but like really thin, thatched wicker that's been woven together. There's not really a grip. You'd have to
Let's-
like break part of it to get handholds.
Let us climb the fence. Follow me. And I will
Let's climb.
have the red vines encircle me and completely cocoon me. And then 8 vine-like legs sprout out from this thing. And I'm going to wild shape into a spider.
Oh,
A giant
A giant spider.
So this
Fiendish giant
fungus,
spider.
yeah, this fungusy red vine giant spider kind of shifts out from the tiefling's body.
I miss Alora's nice fluffy wild shapes. None of this vine stuff.
I like this. I'm into
as-
this.
As a spider, you don't have to break the fencing to climb sort of over
No,
the
I know.
top of it.
That's what
you're
I'm saying. Follow me, everyone. It's easy to climb.
Well, how are they going to follow you? Because the others can't do that. You can climb over it without breaking it, but the others, if they want to
I think
physically
that's
climb
the
fence, they
mire.
have to-
The mire is making a comment The Mire is
Right.
saying, "Follow me. I think
detached.
everyone can do this."
Right,
Yeah.
gotcha.
He doesn't
All you got to
realize.
do is this. See ya.
Yeah, gotcha.
And I'm
Gotcha,
gonna
gotcha,
climb
gotcha.
it.
Okay.
Aw.
Can I cast Writhing Tide and follow him on my little Nimbus
Yes.
cloud of flies?
Okay, so what's that
So,
do?
like-
Just explain that ability. What does that ability do?
So as a bonus action, you gain a flying speed of 10 feet and can hover. This effect lasts for 1 minute or until you're incapacitated.
Yeah, so like it takes you a little bit of time, like you hover over and then you land. But yeah, the
Like-
other Maya is like lifted up by all these buzzing flies and insects that just surround them and just lift them off the ground. This like buzzing, droning sound.
You wish to save the children, follow us.
The children,
the spider.
when the giant spider can't speak. The giant spider can't speak.
Yeah, I
Remember
know.
that.
I know.
The children are freaking out when the spider is like
Yeah.
coming down on them. They're like,
Can I
Um,
try and like, shh, it's okay, friend.
Sure, yeah.
friend,
Give me a
we
persuasion
get you
check.
Out.
Give me a persuasion check to try and calm him down.
With the
18, 19, 20, 22. I think that's
Okay,
the highest
no,
I've
so
ever rolled
Rose,
a
you mentioned
persuasion.
like it's okay. You're kind of, and they kind of see you, and then they see their parents beside you, and they do kind of calm down, and they're like,
with the posts
Yes.
and everything like that. Is it all moist and wet?
It's moist for sure. It's damp. Yeah.
I'm
This is
gonna
like
start-
a swamp, like there's just mists and stuff like that.
I think yes, we'll start trying to carve into it with his sun sword.
Okay. The second that Jesper attacks the fence with the sun sword, the 50 skulls atop the fence post let out an ear-splitting "Ah!" that echoes.
We were
and
doing so
echoes
well.
and echoes.
Oh.
Give me a
well.
moment as I have to set up an encounter.
Well, is there much point, Mark? Look
I
at
mean-
the time.
It's 6 minutes
Oh!
to 10, so
Oh!
Did you do it on purpose?
What a great
No, I-
cliffhanger!
This is the one thing I haven't researched at all, is like the Lysaga stuff. So, I
well,
don't know.
what a wonderful cliffhanger. So let me explain. So as the skulls screech, there's like a beat, there's like a heartbeat where you all just stop. The screeching dies down, and you see all of those scarecrows that were like on those fence posts pull themselves free. They land in the ground, and these grinning, kind of hooded burlap masks look up, and they come running towards the pen. And a cackling sound is heard from the very middle of Berez.
Now we're fighting an army of scarecrows and a witch.
Oh,
Am
good
Yeah.
God.
Oh,
what did we
how
say
many
about being
scarecrows?
impulsive, Jesper?
I mean,
Yeah.
I feel like
Yep.
I was being way more impulsive. I turned into a spider and climbed the
yeah.
damn
I mean, he
fence.
skittered
You
up the
didn't
wall.
Attacking a
with
wood
the
As a-
biggest weapon of Strahd, though.
We can't
did
blame
you?
me. I mean, he can blame
I
me.
mean,
But my decision is no crazier than a spider crawling over,
yeah.
I feel.
I thought
Might
mine was
though.
going to set off a trap.
It specifically says if the characters try to, I mean, obviously there's a different thing. I've put the kids in here. This is a thing that I've done. If the characters basically dismantle or damage part of the fence, the skulls atop the fence post begin howling and screaming and continue for 1 minute. I was just like, you know what, spider climbing, that's not going to be enough. It's not going to dismantle or damage it. You're just like a spider.
Rose almost did it.
Yeah, and that's why I said like you would have to push the arrow
but I
through
did.
the fence, but you didn't. So I was like, yep, okay, no problem.
So it
but
wasn't the sun sword specifically. It was
the sun sword carving into it, that definitely counts as damaging part of the fence. So I was like, yep,
No,
okay,
I
here
mean-
we go.
Yeah.
What a knife.
Like a butter
Bloody-
knife.
I
I mean,
thought it was the nature.
it's
of the
almost
weapon
like
itself.
Baba Lysaga put them here specifically to try and set up a little bit of a bait.
It worked.
It worked.
Bloody
With
worked.
that,
It worked.
that's it. We will see you for the next episode. Maybe the last episode of Curse of Strahd. We don't know.
Yeah.
Quite highly likely.
We thought that
Yeah.
last time.
We think that every episode. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Just join
mean,
the
Every
Maya.
every
Maya will come
episode might be the last episode of Curse of Strahd. Think of it that way.
Exactly.
Every episode might be the last.
How
Amazing,
many
amazing
scarecrows
stuff.
is it?
Good job.
Do you know?
Well, I will tell you that you immediately see 1, 2, 3. You see 3, but I mean, because this map is quite big, I'll have to probably draw a map or do something. But there's more. There's
Three,
more
that's fine.
coming. There's definitely shapes out in the mist,
And
which are
Baba Lysaga
Coming.
as well.
Oh yeah.
yes.
That's
I think we should
selfish.
just run.
Time.
You can certainly try. You can certainly
Time
try.
to go. Woo!
Time to
Scooby-Doo's
leave.
run out.
Yeah. All right, Tommy, is there anything to read out that you would
Yes,
like to read out? Lish to read out.
There was one I had to send to Ree in advance, so when I get to this, Ree, I need you to be prepared for it.
Whoa, where is it?
We on WhatsApp. We have a
Okay.
quarter hundo from LSU
Wowie.
by 4 Lysaga.
Thank you very much.
Which says, Maya, Maya, seep and creep, nature hunt and Maya reap. The Dark Lord's reign, Barovia needs end. Strahd's evil plan, the Maya must rend. Tom, Ree, and Kim, I lost a character to Strahd in the first edition of Ravenloft the month it came out. Strahd owes me money! Damn it, why didn't I wear that shirt? Son of a...
I was wondering, yeah.
Why didn't you wear that?
Yeah.
shirt?
Washed
Oh
it.
my god!
I don't know why you
bought
didn't
Washed
wear
it since last
specifically.
week.
Oh, I bought
Yeah, it's because he was going to wear it last
specifically.
week.
God
Yeah.
damn it.
I know.
Wear it next week.
I was
Wear
gonna
it for the
ask you
last
that.
episode
We're on
next
TPK
week.
episode.
wear
Yeah,
it
we're
now.
on
Wear it
the
for the-
TPK episode.
God damn it, I totally forgot. Ree, this is the one. Have you got it? You ready?
I've got it.
Okay. This is the first time dono from Force Wave, and they say how I imagine the Maya introducing themselves.
Mm-hmm. We are life.
We are death.
We are the beginning.
We are the end. We are
we
the
are
Maya.
the Maya.
That lovely digital video delay.
Yeah, I knew it would be there.
Yeah,
Very
so
cool.
cute.
Yeah, you can't
There
help
you go,
it.
Force
Very
Wave.
cool.
There we go.
Silokian has donated with, do it, Katie. Do the Moana plan. It'll totally work. The Maya voices are the stuff of
Diversion.
nightmares. Diversion. The Maya voices are the stuff of nightmares. Thanks for another fun session, and have a great Lunar New Year for those celebrating. Thank you very much, Silokian. Varus has donated with no message. Thank you very much. Nightjar has donated with, well, fuck. And that is the donations. Let me just check this. We had some High Rollers gifted subs from Therm17, Muse's Whim, Ricky Ray, and Silokian, and also some bits from Coil Twitchbot, Yorkshire Dave, and Nozarashi 1993. And also Major Starlord, who said, wow, congrats on not dying, but we'll see next session. And Mark has almost killed almost all of the original party members. Only 2 remain. Who will die next time on Curse of Strahd?
Ooh.
I'll tell you one thing. The hardest one to kill is always going to be any ranged character. So Rose is always going to be harder to kill than any melee characters. But if anybody's
And
going to do
Reno.
it, it's going to be a mage. So... Oh yeah, I've
Who's
already
ranged
killed you like
too?
twice. I don't count you and Ree and Tom are like, oh, I've killed you twice now. I don't
Fodder.
care. You're
What even
fodder.
is
I don't-
death?
meh. Yeah, exactly. Meh.
That's all right. Would he come back as the Maya?
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest,
I think
Jasper
Rose-
nearly died
Rose
in
is
that
losing-
big druid battle.
Yeah.
Rose is losing the will to live anyway, so I mean, it's fine.
Yeah, I mean, just give it up. Just give in. Just finish it all off.
To the Maya with all of us.
To the Maya
Right.
with
To
all
the
of
Maya.
you, for sure.
That's
the
where we
Maya.
belong.
As a
The
point, if you
Maya.
do all die, you don't all get to come back as the Maya. Like that's the end of the
Oh,
campaign. As a point.
Come on.
Yeah. No. If you all
so
die, it's the end of the
fun.
campaign.
We found a
Nope.
loophole. We could just be an endless land thing.
An endless
What
land
amazing role playing the story would be then. Just everybody being
Yeah.
like,
mass. The same.
"What is
Maya."
human emotion?
Well, you wouldn't need to speak to each
I
other
am
because
the
you're all the same
Maya.
thing. No, you wouldn't need to
Yeah.
speak because you're all
Yeah.
the same being. So
But if we introduce
Uh,
ourselves to any NPC,
Well, no,
Yeah.
it'll be about
Maya.
10
There's
minutes.
This
of
is the
actually-
Maya, the Maya.
There's
the
actually a
Maya,
very
the Maya,
canonical-
Maya.
There's a very canonical thing where if you all die, it doesn't matter. There won't be any NPCs for you to
Oh.
talk to. So
Oh,
Um,
True.
I have a canonical plan. Tom knows it.
I'm just
I know it.
I'm imagining like if that was to happen, you know, like there's a Simpsons episode where there's a Michael Jackson impersonator who has like fake Jackson family members like taped to him on sticks, so he's like in the center controlling all these puppets. I'm just imagining like that if we all turn into the Mire.
Yeah.
Well.
George Zeke. Puppet Master Zeke.
The real enemy, the real villain.
Yeah.
Right.
The real curse all along.
It was
Well.
us.
Is that it?
Us.
Anything else?
that is it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. That's
Right,
That's
so-
a lot.
That's it, yeah.
A couple of things from Nightjar and gift subs. Therm17, Muse's Whim, Ricky
Already done
Ray. What?
Already done them.
Did you do those from the staff
Yeah.
room?
He did.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I did them really well as well, and not in
That's so
a
locked in.
unforgettable way.
Oh no, you just did a
Oh.
Tom.
It's his
Oh.
age.
just
my
did a Tom.
my brain, I had a message about something really cool, and my brain just like overwrit everything that was going on with what I was just reading, I think, and so it was like, I'm sorry, I'm genuinely
all
sorry,
right.
Tom.
Look,
I just
people do it-
completely
People
blanked
do it
on it.
all the time when I'm talking. But we have got an extra donation from Newton Dude that said, "Howdy, your friendly neighborhood swamp ranger here. Be careful, it's mudkip season, and they're evolving and growing in numbers as we speak. Keep your holes plugged and your Shannon safe. Tom is cheaper than a $5 account. Haha, poo poo. I'm Bum Hazel."
What the fuck?
We need to stop reading these
How much
messages.
did they donate
this
for
is
you to
why
read
we're
that
not.
out?
This is why we're not more successful because fucking Tom reading out these messages.
One. He donated £1 for you, and you read that out. You are
I'm
cheaper
Bum
than a
Hazel.
$5 account.
I'm Bob Hazel.
Right, Bum Hazel.
I'm Bum
Right,
Hazel.
well, thank you very much, everybody. Don't forget to check out Kim's amazing Lunar New Year stream on Saturday. And then
Yep.
we'll also be back for our Lunar New Year one-shot on Sunday, which is going to be very, very exciting. You can always catch Hat Films on their stream. See more Trotty, Tom
Don't
and Ree,
do
maybe
that.
Chaos Twins next
Terrible
week.
idea.
And if you want to see me dressed up, I'm doing a stream tomorrow as well. So come and check that out.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Nice.
Take care. See you later. Bye-bye. Kiss, kiss.
Bye.
Mwah, mwah.
Bye-bye.
Bye.